Well, everyone, welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. As promised, we're going to talk about the punishment that Russia has gone through and how we think it can affect what's going on in their country.
This is interesting.
It's very interesting.
I mean, this sheds a whole new light on what's going on over there. So,
Ukraine has taken out a $352 million Russian submarine, the Rostov-on-Don, at the port of Sevastopol. Well, now it's the Rostov-under-Don because it's sunk in port. I mean, I guess that's the best place to have a submarine sink. I mean, so if guys were on there, they might have been able to get out. I mean, but the shock of the missiles hitting, I don't know, that would have disoriented you, you know?
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. And that's what a
submarine, man.
what a light open or coming on, right? For Russia to see that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
As a result of the strike, the sub sank on the spot, and Kiev now claims they significantly damaged 4 Russian S-400 air defense systems stationed in Crimea, combined worth of $2.5 billion. These S-400s are just like our Patriot missiles. That's how advanced they are. They're supposed to be advanced. Oh, that's almost $3 billion, a $3 billion blow to Putin's military. These strikes were carried out on Friday by using ATACMS, ATACMS missiles made in the United States of America, made in the old UFC. Our weapons destroying this. You think the Russians are pissed off?
Yeah, I'll bet they are. Yeah.
You think they are?
Yeah.
Just a little?
Yeah.
These missile defense systems are the equipment of the Patriot, right? A couple months ago, we did a segment on the military losses suffered by Russia at the hands of Ukraine. Here's an update. Crazy.
Yeah. So these kind of weapons are not going to be easily they're not going to be easy to replace right away, right? It's going to take a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially that sub.
Well,
I mean,
you got to produce
they're not going to build that sub in a weekend, right?
Yeah. Well, like with Pearl Harbor, like the Oklahoma, we raised it up and got it righted, and then we patched all the holes. They might do that with that sub, patch the holes and get it up.
So when Russia started the invasion in Ukraine, it was estimated that Russia had just over 3,000 tanks ready and able to fight.
That's a decent force.
Yep.
Decent force.
To date, the Ukrainians have destroyed just over 3,000 Russian tanks.
That's a decent statistic, man.
That's a negative number.
That's really good for Ukraine, you know what I'm saying?
You're negative yardage on that one. So, at the start of the invasion of Ukraine, Russia had about 300,000 to 350,000 troops that crossed into Ukraine during the invasion.
Yeah, that's a big force.
Yeah. And I remember when the news was reporting that all this force was mounting on the border, right?
Yeah, remember Desert Shield turned into Desert Storm?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That buildup was kind of a shield of sorts. And
they were talking about, it's just maneuvers or whatever.
Training.
Give me a break. Come on, man. So Ukraine has now killed approximately 350,000 Russian soldiers. So again,
staggering, man.
Whatever side of that number you want to look at, that's.
Have we ever in our Civil War have we lost 350,000?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think we've ever lost that much.
I mean,
that's a lot of treasure.
That is.
Boys
dying. That's a lot of moms and dads and brothers and sisters and wives that are just
crying and
not happy about it.
No.
We mentioned that, a couple segments ago. This means that the entire force that initially invaded Ukraine has been wiped out. Yeah. Yeah, that's just that's incredible.
They're still fighting, so that means they're producing, right? And they're conscripting or they're getting soldiers in.
They're forcing them to go to the Ukraine front, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. So
yeah, Russia has continued to fight because of its initial surplus of men and equipment and its ability to produce weapons platforms on a monthly basis, tanks, armored vehicles, whatever. Russia is able to produce between 500 and 600 tanks annually, right? So that's, what is that, about 50 a month, 40 a month, something like that? That's a lot for a tank.
They better get on it, though.
That's a lot.
They've lost 3,000. They better get on it.
Russia's tank force is now half the strength it was at the start of the invasion, right? That's not the worst. That is not. Well-trained tank crews, they don't grow on trees, you know what I'm saying? Those tank crews first have to have initial training, then they got to go through gunnery so they make sure they can hit their targets. It takes a while. I would argue at least 6 months of continuous harsh training to get them trained up to be efficient. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't replace that.
I get that. So
I mean, you can replace the tank, but the crew, it takes time to train those guys. Russia has lost nearly 9,000 armored vehicle, but it's able to produce about 4,500 annually, right? So they can produce those armored vehicles pretty decently. 80% of the newly produced armored vehicles are actually refurbished Soviet-era armored vehicles, the BMPs and the BTRs. They're refurbished. Russia has vast scrap yards of these rusting hulks, right? And they're at like a depot, and when there's a need, they start bringing them in to refurbish them and parts and that kind of stuff and get them going, right?
Spraying them down with WD, get rid of that rust. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy.
And
again, why would you as a soldier want to get into a refurbished old piece of rust and go into battle? I mean,
that soldier probably didn't know he was getting into a piece of rust when he signed the contract.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, at least hopefully they're writing home to their families to say, hey, don't let Joey or Oleg, enlist.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was just going to say also, I mean, that's one positive thing about our fighting force, right? You guys always had pretty good equipment, right?
Yeah.
And
intense training, always intense training.
Yeah, so that's an advantage.
So as this time goes by, and these vehicles are getting pushed out, there's less and less. You're going to the scraping bottom of the barrel on these vehicles, right? And there's more work needed to refurbish, and they've probably been cannibalizing. We don't do that in the military. At least we're not supposed to do that in the Army, but I'm sure it happens. But when you get into that depot level, when you're scraping the bottom barrel, there's cannibalization going on if you don't have the parts. And time they're running out of time and of that equipment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Russia's turned to side-by-side Kubotas.
Like a hunting ATV.
I was going to say, is that like the
I saw the pictures of them. They look like hunting
the little farm vehicles, right?
They're colored desert tan, yeah. You go hunting, you put the bear on the front or in the back.
Yeah.
Two guys sit side by side. You probably fit two in the back sitting down, right?
So they're using these as unarmored rapid troop transports.
Yeah, that's
what's rapid about it. Like they're getting taken out. I mean,
no, they can go fast.
No armored, right?
Right. They can go fast to the front. They can head up to the front.
I mean, what do they
quickly.
Carry? Dozen guys, maybe?
No.
4 guys?
4 guys.
8 guys? Jeez,
4 guys. With maybe a missile or two, that they can shoot off sideways.
So almost like, do you remember the Rat Patrol? Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
The Rat Patrol?
They were on Jeeps.
A gun, yeah, 2 guys. Yeah, that was crazy. They're cheap to make and easy to produce. This puts soldiers in an unsafe condition, obviously, we were just talking about, because they're not armored.
Mm-hmm. Small arms can take them out, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like armor piercing, you just need small arms, machine guns.
They're also mass producing a version of a 4-wheel drive VW bus. Okay.
That's what it looks like. It totally looks like a VW bus. And it's 4-wheel drive so it can get over terrain.
Again,
no armor.
Very easy, cheap to produce, and no survivability. So
whatsoever, yeah.
So the Achilles heel for these vehicles are unprotected fuel tanks on either side of the vehicle. Oh, that's, again, a target, right?
Yeah.
It easily explodes like a
Pinto. Remember
Ford
those Pintos?
Pinto. Oh, yeah,
remember
my
the
sister
back?
used to drive one of those. Ford Pinto.
Yeah.
Ukrainian drones forces recognized and exploited this weakness almost immediately.
Yeah.
So
tactics, techniques, and procedures. They found out what works, and they kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? The Ukrainians, I fought with them. I'm telling you again, I fought with them in Iraq. They're tough, right? They're really tough. Despite all these losses, Putin continues to send men to the front. There are 7 million men in their 20s in Russia, right? 7 million. Russia has raised the maximum fighting age from 60, which that's the same here in the United States, to 70. Think about it. 350,000 men killed in 2 years, and more than that fleeing the country to avoid conscription, right? That's a lot. Russia still needs men to work at the plants, produce vehicles and ammunition, right? Russia still needs men to repopulate the country, get married, have babies. And that's what Putin's doing now with patriotic, have kids. We need you to have kids, right? Yeah, so he can send them to the front.
We know that takes a while too, right? Because unless they're going to lower the age, what's their fighting? Their minimum age, 18 probably.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they're going to go to 16-year-olds. Russia still needs men to work in industry, right? And not just the military complex, but other industry, right? This is the price for corruption and attrition. It really is. This is the price that they're paying. Horrible army. They got equipment, but it's just fodder.
Yeah. So the losses in infantry and land warfare vehicles, armored and unarmored, are nothing compared to the naval and air force losses they've suffered.
Yeah,
like we just talked about.
Crazy. I mean, for a B1, like a bomber, it doesn't take a month to make a bomber. It takes like a year to produce that, and it's sub or a
and it
ship.
takes money, right?
Yeah, money. Yeah.
So Russia has lost nearly a third of their ships in the Black Sea Fleet. That's nearly 40% of their entire naval tonnage. That is crazy.
40%.
I mean, how do you recover from that? You know, and again, I'm sure. Well, Ukraine does not have any naval warships.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I think it has Marines. You know, there's a little island outpost that's used to shoot. That the Russians were trying to take that over, but the Ukrainians, they knocked them off the island. But they don't have a navy. I mean, they don't have a. Well, they have a navy, but they don't have
nothing compared to what Russia's got, right?
Yeah,
nothing compared to that. Well, maybe now.
I mean, other than the Black Sea, they're landlocked. In the Black Sea, there's no navigation channel for big ships.
Yeah, so this damage has all been done basically by surface-to-surface missiles, drone attacks, speedboat attacks. The Black Sea is contained with no way to move ships from the Atlantic or the Pacific into the sea. Navigation through the Aegean and Istanbul is not possible. The Air Force is running out of planes, helicopters, and
pilots.
Mainly the thing is pilots, yeah.
It takes some training.
Right, exactly. They've lost over 300 airplanes. Reuse of planes is creating a strain on their airworthiness.
Yes, because the planes, they go up, do their mission. If they don't get shot down, they come back and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So that's
eventually
all the hours.
You need some maintenance on those, right?
Yeah.
You need to put some time into that. So F-16s have started arriving in Ukraine, and Russia's Air Force problems are about to exponentially increase.
When those F-16s get up fighting, we're going to see some fireworks.
And that's a superior plane to their planes,
to the
right?
SUs. Yeah. How much longer are Russian mothers going to allow their sons to be sacrificed at the front? Up through 2025, 2026? I mean, they're probably going to run out of producing tanks or armored vehicles by 2025. I mean, they can only produce so much, and they keep throwing it into Ukraine.
And then again, is China, who's probably supplying them their materials, right? Their raw materials. Maybe they're going to get tired and say, "Hey, we need to keep some of this stuff for our stuff."
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
You know, as long as Russia's selling that oil, they've got money to buy parts from North Korea and China.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be out of equipment by 2026 unless their allies, the axis of evil, steps up and starts giving them more equipment. But that'll be finite. Russians in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Yekaterinburg, Chelyabinsk, Nizhny Novgorod, Novosibirsk, and Perm are demonstrating despite the threat of legal repercussions. The mothers are out there on the corners demonstrating. But it's just not enough to turn a tide for a revolution yet.
And this is Putin's war, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have to do this.
No. What was the purpose of invading Crimea?
Exactly. Why did he do that? Why did he have to rattle the cage like we said the other day? This is all my family, right? They're like cousins.
Yeah, they're paying for it. They're like cousins. Yeah, Ukraine and Russia are like cousins.
What the heck?
They're paying for it. They're paying dearly, and it's going to cost Putin his job, maybe his head.
Oh, I hope so. And then maybe somebody a little less crazed would maybe be able to get into that.
Yeah, who
and
knows?
Make something, because I've been told that it's a beautiful country, and for the most part, the people there, not the leaders, not the oligarchs, but the people there are great people.
Yeah,
they're good people.
Yeah, Sister Kmar served in Russia, right, as a missionary.
Yeah. Mark.
We've got missionaries in Russia.
Yeah, Mark Gunder's son served in Vladivostok.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So
beautiful
they're good
country.
people there. Yeah. Exactly.
We've got a temple in Kiev too.
Yeah. Don't know what it's looking like right now, but
well, you'd hope that the Lord's protecting his house. You know?
Yeah. Hopefully so.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Interesting dialogue about Russia. How long can they hold on? Is there going to be a regime change sooner rather than later?
Right?
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on it.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day. Thank you.